Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila, 6th chapter, the glories of Advaita Acharya is being mentioned. I'll read the first two verses myself, and the verse that I have selected we will chant together. So this first verse, it says, Vande tam Srimad Advaita Acharyam Adbhuta Cheshtitam Yasya Prasadat Agyompi Tat Swarupam Nirupayet. It's a very nice verse. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, the beginning of each chapter gives a verse which describes what the chapter is going to be. And here he is saying, Vande tam Srimad Advaita Acharyam Adbhuta Cheshtitam Yasya Prasadat Agyompi Tat Swarupam Nirupayet. So he is offering his obeisances to Advaita Acharya, Adbhuta Cheshtitam, whose activities are wonderful. Yasya Prasadat Agyompi, even if somebody is a foolish person, by the mercy of Advaita Acharya, Tat Swarupam Nirupayet. He can actually describe his characteristics. I offer my respectful obeisances to Sri Advaita Acharya, whose activities are all wonderful. By his mercy, even a foolish person can describe his characteristics. I don't consider myself to be foolish. I consider much more than foolish person to describe the glories of Advaita Acharya. But I'm taking this leap of faith on these instructions of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami that by his mercy, even a foolish person can describe his characteristics. There's a very nice verse which comes in Chaitanya Charitamrita, again in the same chapter, 6th chapter, 5th verse. It talks about who is this Advaita Acharya, because the moment we hear the word Advaita, it appears like we are talking about monism and we are Vaishnavas, and how somebody amongst us is having a name like Advaita. So this comes also in the Mangalacharan, the beginning of Chaitanya Charitamrita. So this verse is Advaitam Harinadvaitad Acharyam Bhakti Samsanat Bhaktavataram Ishamtam Advaitacharyam Ashraye. Advaitam Harina Advaitad. So Advaita Acharya, if you see in the altar, we have the Panchatattva photo. Probably the only personality who appears with white beard. Nobody else, everybody else looks young. Advaitam Harinadvaitad. So he is non-different from the Supreme Lord Hari. Advaitam Harinadvaitad. That's why his name is Advaita. Advaitam Harinadvaitad. Acharyam Bhakti Samsanat. He is also known as Acharya because the only purpose of his descent is to propagate the devotional service. Acharyam Bhakti Samsanat. Bhaktavataram Isham Tam. Advaitacharyam Ashraya. Bhaktavataram Isham Tam. Advaitacharyam Ashraya. He's also an incarnation of the Lord. That's why his name is Bhaktavataram. Bhaktavataram Isham Tam. He's also the same as the Supreme Lord. Advaita Acharyam Ashraya. I take shelter of him. Because he is non-different from Hari, the Supreme Lord, he is called Advaita. The two parts to his name, Advaita Acharya. So he is non-different from Hari, that's why his name is Advaita. And then, and because he propagates the cult of devotion, he is called Acharya, Advaita Acharya. He is the Lord and the incarnation of the Lord's devotee. Therefore I take shelter of him. Now we will take this verse and we will chant this. You can repeat after me. Jagat Mangala Advaita Mangala Gunadhama Mangala Charitra Sada Mangala Yanranama Jagat Mangala Advaita Mangala Gunadhama Mangala Charitra Sada Mangala Yanranama Jagat Mangala Advaita Mangala Gunadhama Mangala Charitra Sada Mangala Yanranama Jagat Mangala Advaita Mangala Gunadhama Mangala Charitra Sada Mangala Yanranama Jagat Mangala Advaita Mangala Gunadhama Mangala Charitra Sada Mangala Yanranama Jagat Mangala Advaita Mangala Gunadhama Mangala Charitra Sada Mangala Yanranama Jagat Mangala, all auspicious for the world. Advaita, Advaita Acharya. Mangala Gunadhama, the reservoir of all auspicious attributes. Mangala Charitra, all characteristics are auspicious. Sada, always. Mangala, auspicious. Yanranama, whose name. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation: being a reservoir of all auspicious attributes, Sri Advaita Acharya is all auspicious for the world. His characteristics, activities, and name are always auspicious. Translation with repetition: being a reservoir of all auspicious attributes, Sri Advaita Acharya is all auspicious for the world. His characteristics, activities, and name are always auspicious. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Sri Advaita Prabhu, who is an incarnation of Mahavishnu, is an Acharya or teacher. All his activities and all other activities of Vishnu are auspicious. Anyone who can view the all auspiciousness in the pastimes of Lord Vishnu also become auspicious simultaneously. Therefore, since Lord Vishnu is the fountainhead of all auspiciousness, anyone who is attracted by the devotional service of Lord Vishnu can render the greatest service to human society. Rejected persons of the material world who refuse to understand pure devotional service as the eternal function of the living entities and as actual liberation of the living being from conditioned life, become bereft of all devotional service because of their poor fund of knowledge. In the teachings of Advaita Prabhu, there is no question of fruitive activities or impersonal liberation. Bewildered by the spell of the material energy, however, persons who could not understand that Advaita Prabhu is non-different from Vishnu wanted to follow him with their impersonal conceptions. The attempt of Advaita Prabhu to punish them is also auspicious. Lord Vishnu and his activities can bestow all good fortune, directly and indirectly. In other words, being favored by Lord Vishnu and being punished by Lord Vishnu are one and the same, because all the activities of Vishnu are absolute. According to some, Mangala was another name of Advaita Prabhu. As the causal incarnation of Lord Vishnu, as the causal incarnation or Lord Vishnu's incarnation for a particular occasion, he is the supply agent or ingredient in material nature. However, he is never to be considered material. All his activities are spiritual. Anyone who hears about and glorifies him becomes glorified himself. For such activities free one from all kinds of misfortune. One should not invest any material contamination or impersonalism in the Vishnu form. Everyone should try to understand the real identity of Lord Vishnu, for by such knowledge one can attain the highest stage of perfection. Thus ends the wonderful transcendental Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnanatimmirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminati Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Brinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So it's a very auspicious day. It's the appearance day of Advaita Acharya. And also there is a storm outside, isn't it? So I don't know when the storm is coming, but at least 2 days before people are planning. There's one devotee who was telling they live, I don't know, maybe half an hour or something from here, and they were planning to come and take their grocery because they're thinking Saturday, Sunday. Who knows when the storm is going to come and what will happen, if the provision store will be there, not there. So when we are busy planning for the storm outside, we don't realize that there is another storm which comes. And when that storm comes, everything gets unsettled. This kind of temporary disturbance in the weather is something which still can plan and can handle. But that storm, when it comes, everything is over. Everything is finished. But very ironically, nobody plans for that storm. Everybody thinks that that storm is not going to come in my life. It will come in somebody else's life. Maybe, they had that storm. But my life, I'm in control of things. Things are very nice. I can manage. I've got plans. I've got intelligence. Like that we think. But the fact is, all of us sitting here, one day we will be gone, dead, over. But the preparation for the storm is very minimal from our side. We were reading Krishna book. We've been reading Krishna book every day. I thought I'll start with this one paragraph which touched me very nicely. Recently when we are reading this is in the 27th chapter of volume 2 of Krishna book. The very interesting thing which happens is Lord Krishna visits Kurukshetra. There is a solar eclipse. And that solar eclipse is not some ordinary solar eclipse. It's a solar eclipse which comes at the end of Brahma's day, at the end of the Kalpa. Very inauspicious. So all the people decided to go to a place called Kurukshetra. And not just the Dwarkavasis, including Krishna Balaram and his wives. How many wives were there? It's not mentioned, but at least the 8 prominent ones were there. Who were the 8 wives of Krishna? Rukmini, Satyabhama live apart from them. Okay. This is where we are. Mitravinda, there is Kalindi, there is Satya, there is, how many I told? Mitravinda, Kalindi, Satya, Lakshmana, Jambavati. Like that, there are at least the 8 of those wives were present. And the residents of Vrindavan were also there. There are a lot of interesting things, a lot of very powerful things. Actually, you know how he been being introduced to Krishna consciousness by the mercy of Prabhupada, by the mercy of Advaita Acharya, by the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu. We take it so granted. And that is why when we read repeatedly and when we read sensitively, when we properly allow our consciousness to be touched by these words, then things strike, things change. Otherwise, it's very easy to get distracted in this material world, very easy to get carried away in the materialistic way of thinking. So they go to Kurukshetra. Kurukshetra, another name of Kurukshetra is Samanta Panchaka. It is called Samanta Panchaka because there are 5 reservoirs of blood pool created by Parsuram when he killed this Kshatriyas 21 times. So the blood was filled with that and he did some repentance. So that's why the word Panchaka is there, Samanta Panchaka. In that place, so many people have come, and Yudhishthir Maharaj, out of all people, is expressing some prayer to Krishna or Vishnu, and it's very important. My dear Lord Krishna, great personalities and devotees in full Krishna consciousness always think of your lotus feet and remain fully satisfied by drinking the nectar of transcendental bliss. So great personalities and devotees in full Krishna consciousness, they always think of your lotus feet and remain fully satisfied by drinking the nectar of transcendental bliss. The nectar which they constantly drink sometimes comes out of their mouths and is sprinkled on others as the narration of your transcendental activities. So the pure devotees, they are constantly meditating on the lotus feet of Krishna, and they are satisfied by drinking the nectar of transcendental bliss. And that nectar which they are drinking, they constantly drinking, sometimes comes out of their mouths and is sprinkled on others as the narration of your transcendental activities. The nectar coming from the mouth of a devotee is so powerful that if one is fortunate enough to have the opportunity to drink it, immediately becomes freed from the continuous journey of birth and death. See, what an opportunity we have, but look at our lack of preparation for that eventual storm. This narration of the activities in the pastimes of the Lord are coming from a pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada's mouth. And we have an opportunity at least one Sunday we can hear it. That is when we find all kinds of excuses, all kinds of challenges come in our life. Fair enough, I mean, there could be so many genuine things. But then, somebody was asking me, why is it, Prabhu, that we don't get inspiration to come for Sunday morning class? One of the biggest reasons is we don't know that the disease that we are going through can be cured by this elixir, by this panacea, by this nectar of Srimad Bhagavatam. We don't know that. If we know that, suppose somebody is suffering from a disease and the doctor has prescribed a medicine. Does he need to have some alarm, or somebody has to tell him that, why are you not drinking that medicine? It is good for you. You should drink that. You are suffering. No. He will remember it. At any cost, he will come and he will drink that. Very interestingly, I want to share 2 verses from Mukundamala Stotra before we proceed. I'm just started. I didn't think I'll go in this way, but Mukundamala and Kulashekara Acharya, Kulashekara Alvar, he says in Mukundamala Stotram, Ascharyam etadhi manushya loke. Ascharyam means how wonderful this is. How bewildering. Ascharyam etadhi manushya loke sudham parityajya visham pibanti. We give up nectar we are abandoning, sudham parityajya visham pibanti, and we drink poison. Namani Narayana Gocharani. Namani Narayana. The names of Lord Narayana, Gocharani. What is the meaning of the word Gocharani? Gocharani means Narayana, who can control, who is the director of our senses. Gocharani. Namani Narayana Gocharani. Tyaktva Anyavachaha Kuhaka Pathanti. Tyaktva Anyavacha Kuhaka. All other things we have a lot of interest. We find time. Everything is there. But not for this. Tyaktva Anyavacha Kuhaka Pathanti. There is another one comes in this. Idam sariram satasandhi jarjaram patatti avasyam parinama peshalam. Idam sariram satasandhi jarjaram. As we grow old, we all can see, I was having some pain on my knees. At this sandhi, all these joints, they will become jarjaram. Idam sariram satasandhi jarjaram. This will shake. This will have some problems. This will have some issues. You are also having something, right? Patati avasyam parinama peshalam. Every moment this body is changing. Idam sariram satasandhi jarjaram patati avasya parinama peshalam. Kim ausadham prichasi mudha durmate. Kim ausadham prichasi mudha durmate. Oh, foolish person, what kind of medicine will save your body? Kim ausadham prichasi mudha durmate. Niramayam Krishna rasayanam piva. The Krishna rasayanam is there. Niramayam Krishna rasayanam piva. But we are not interested in that. We are not prepared for this term. Niramayam Krishna rasayanam piva. Actually, we should be so much we should be hankering after it. That verse in Bhagavatam, Tat Shraddha Dhana Munaya, Jnana Vairagya Yuktaya, Pashyanti Atmani, Pashyanti Atmani Atmanam, Shruta, Bhaktya Shruta Grihitaya, Yat Shraddha Dhana Munaya. One has to be seriously inquisitive. This is not some joke. Because it's my life, it is going to come to an end. Nobody has to come and give us an alarm, or with a poking this thing, somebody has to poke us. Hey, ja. Yat Shraddha Dhana Munaya. One has to be seriously inquisitive. Jnana Vairagya Yuktaya. How will you do this? How do we think we will go back home, back to Godhead? Jnana Vairagya Yuktaya. There has to be transcendental knowledge and detachment. And then, Pashyanti, then you'll be able to see. Then the self-realization is possible. The only way the self-realization is possible, if one is engaging in devotional service based on the Shruti, oral reception, developing detachment in the heart, and fixed in transcendental knowledge, and by engaging in devotional service. But there has to be the person has to be seriously inquisitive. It has to be done uninterruptedly. Not like when I feel like. No, it's not like that. Anyway, coming back to Advaita Acharya, we all know that Rupa Goswami has composed this beautiful song in glorification of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He says, Namo Mahavadanyaya, Krishna Prema Pradayate, Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne, Gauratvishe Namah. Right? So Rupa Goswami says, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the most merciful incarnation. Because he is giving something to the people of Kali Yuga which nobody has given before. Krishna Prema Pradayate. Is it ordinary? It's so easily available? No, it's very rare. That's why Rupa Goswami is saying Mahavadanyaya. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami puts it in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Anarpita Charim Chirat, Karunaya Batirna Kalo. Samarpaitum Unnata Jvala Rasa Swabhakti Swayam. Anarpita Charim Chirat. This for a long time this has not been given. And that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes and distributes this freely, doesn't see our qualifications. If he sees really qualifications, I don't know about you, but I stand somewhere, I don't know list. I He can't fit into any of the list. But he's giving it. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Maha-merciful, is the most merciful. But if you see, we know that the pastime of Jagai Madhai, Nityananda Prabhu is the one who distributed Chaitanya's mercy. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was about to kill them. He was about to invoke the Sudarshan and about to finish them. So we sing that song, Nadiya go dhrume Nityananda Mahajan, Pati ache naam hata jivera karan. So he has opened this marketplace of holy name and he is distributing it freely to people who are actually unworthy, untouchable, or just whatever abominable kind of things. He is giving it. So Nityananda Prabhu is more merciful than Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But there is a twist to it. Advaita Acharya is more merciful than both of them. Where does Advaita Acharya come? Advaita Acharya is the one who called out to the Lord, right? We read in the morning, just offering some tulsi and taking bath in Ganges, he used to loudly call, "Hey Govinda! Hey Gopala! Hey Govinda!" Actually, you do that and people also still, after hearing, "Hey Govinda, hey Gopala," मुंह से sound ही नहीं आता है. Hey Govinda! That's why it is called Hunkara. I mean, Advaita Acharya saw that the situation is out of control. People are all doing crazy things, insane activities. He called out, "Oh Lord, you have to personally intervene. You have to come. Otherwise, there is no hope for people like us." He could see that people in Shrewsbury like us, one day we will be sitting here. There will be a nice temple, there will be a facility which will be given by Srila Prabhupada so that we can practice Krishna consciousness, we can get initiated, we can accept Nityananda Prabhu, we can accept Prabhupada as our spiritual master, go back home, back to Godhead. He's been thinking and he's thinking how terrible, how unfortunate this Kali Yuga is. And he called out. If he would have not called out, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would have not come. If Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would have not come, he would have not given direction to Nityananda Prabhu to distribute. So who is the most merciful? Advaita Acharya. Right? So in Hindi there is a saying, it says, na rahega bans, na bajegi bansuri. If Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not there, then what? Where is question of Nityananda Prabhu? Where is question of Advaita Acharya? But it all came because Advaita Acharya called out loudly to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, for Krishna to appear. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came. So the pastimes of Advaita Acharya are wonderful pastimes. So many are there. We will see a few. We will try to analyze it. Few that we have time that we can discuss. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, actually Advaita Acharya has got many pastimes with Haridas Thakur. They started dancing in ecstasy. They knew now this is our call, our prayer has been answered and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come, has descended. And they started dancing in ecstasy. So much ecstasy they were dancing. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to respect Advaita Acharya a lot because Advaita Acharya was the god brother of his spiritual master. So he used to have a very respectful position in his heart. Interestingly, so much of respect Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to have. Actually, Advaita Acharya's wife we sing this song, Sita Thakurani, that Sri Chaitanya Nityananda, Sri Advaita Sita, Hari Guru Vaishnava Bhagavata Gita. Right? So Sita Thakurani and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's family, I mean the Advaita Acharya's family and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's family were very close. She was the first one to come and congratulate them. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we know, okay, there are this Panchatattva when we speak about. Who are these Panchatattvas? Which verse talks about the Panchatattva? Panchatattvatmakam Krishna, Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam, Bhakta Avataram, Bhakta Akhyam, Namami Bhakta Saktikam. Panchatattvatmakam Krishna. Panchatattva. So Krishna or the Lord's understanding can come very nicely by knowing this one verse. If you don't know this verse, it's a nice occasion today to remember this. Pancha Tattvatmakam Krishna Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam. Krishna is there in the 5 truths. He's appearing in front of us in 5 different truths. Isha Tattva. Isha Tattva means the Supreme Lord. There was the verse that we spoke. There was that word Isha also in that. Bhaktavataram Isham Tam. So Isha is Krishna Tattva. Panchatattvatmakam Krishna Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam. The first thing is Bhakta Rupa. The Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes in the form of a devotee, Bhakta Rupa. Panchatattvatmakam Krishna Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam. Then Swarupakam. His Swarupa is Nityananda Prabhu. Expansion. Panchatattvatmakam Krishna Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam. Bhaktavataram is the incarnation of the Lord, which is Mahavishnu. It's actually Mahavishnu and Sadashiv. The technical details are given in 6th chapter very elaborately, how he's a combination of both. That is Advaita Acharya. Panchatattvatmakam Krishna Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakhyam, known as Bhakta, as a devotee. So there is a devotee in these 5 tattvas also. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is gone, Nityananda Prabhu is gone, Advaita Acharya is gone. Who's the devotee? Huh? No. In Panchatattva, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhara, Srivasadi. Gadadhar is actually Bhakta Sakti, the energy, the internal potency of the Lord. Bhakta is Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi. Srivas is the Jiva Tattva, who's the Bhakta, who's the devotee of the Lord. So these 5 aspects of Krishna's realization is together present in this Panchatattva. Panchatattvatmakam Krishna Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakhyam Namami Bhakta Saktikam. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he came as a devotee. So if anybody calls him as Vishnu or the Supreme Lord, he'll close his ears and he'll say Vishnu, 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 and he'll just run away from there. Except for one time in his Mahaprakash Leela. So in the Mahaprakash Leela, he was showing his Supreme Personality of Godhead aspect, and he was distributing Krishna Prem to all his eternal associates. Everybody he was distributing, except for one person. His own mother, Sachimata. He didn't give Krishna Prem to her. Everybody was puzzled why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not distributing Krishna Prema to his own mother, Sachimata. So when asked Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, why are you not doing? He mentioned that my mother is an offender of Advaita Acharya. See, it is so important. How much of importance Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving to Advaita Acharya. Even to his own mother, he is not distributing Krishna Prem. What did his mother do that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying that she can't take Krishna Prema? Advaita Acharya apparently used to preach to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's brother Viswarupa, who took sannyas. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself was very close to Advaita Acharya. This association of Advaita Acharya with Viswarupa and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not liked by his mother. When they asked his mother, he told yes. I mean, that's a fact. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what he's saying is not false. You see, so important it is to understand this. How serious is this Vaishnava Aparadh? How serious? It is not that when you speak some words against a Vaishnava that you are committing an offense. Even if you are thinking unfavorably in your mind about someone, maybe the Vaishnava will forgive. He is not taking it seriously. Krishna doesn't forgive. He takes it very seriously. And it affects our devotion. It seriously affects our devotion. How? The first thing that happens is the taste for devotional service will go down. Starting with your chanting. Chanting will happen mechanically, but that absorption, attention, all will reduce. Mind will give all crazy ideas at the time of chanting. It will become very mechanical. So this Vaishnava Aparadhan has to be extremely careful. Sachimata went and asked for forgiveness from Advaita Prabhu. Advaita Prabhu said, I never took an offense. I never thought it as an offense. But Krishna takes it. Krishna takes it. Actually, devotional life is a very delicate path. The offense we commit makes our heart hard-hearted. Then there is very difficult this thing. The experience of bhava and all, because sadhana bhakti has to lead to bhava. There should be emotions. There should be the heart should melt before the deities. Seeing the Vaishnavas, I should feel happy. But all those things will not happen. This is first important thing. This is the most important thing that we can see from the pastime of Advaita Acharya. Another very interesting thing, there are so many such small things, but very, very nicely these are given. Another thing which Advaita Acharya demonstrates or does in his pastimes is, so Acharya, because he is demonstrating it, how to engage in devotional service, we have to learn from it, from his life. One day, Advaita Acharya started teaching Mayavada to all the disciples. Started speaking Mayavada philosophy. So he is speaking Mayavada philosophy, and this news spreaded to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got so furious, so angry, he brought a stick and started beating Advaita Acharya, Advaita Prabhu. What is this? You are teaching Mayavada? And so much furiously Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was beating that this Sita Thakurani, she's telling her, old man, he'll die. And then Advaita Prabhu is laughing, ha 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 ha. He's very happy there. Why? Because he thought now he has gotten the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Very important incident. How much happy we feel when some senior devotees glorify us. क्या सेवा करते हो आप प्रभु? If you are not there, this temple will not run. How much sacrifice you have done. How nice you are. How firmly you are situated and how nicely you are serving. How much you are contributing. Give one garland to him. And then everybody says, Jai, 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 Jai. You feel so happy. But the moment one chastisement comes, we run away. I've been serving for so long. Ye mila. I've given so much. After that, all these things are coming to me. Who does he think himself? Can't he see how much sincerely I'm engaging in devotional service? Actually, I would say that person will be extremely fortunate who gets chastisement. If somebody tells us, no, you're doing wrong, this is not right, you shouldn't be doing like this, we're extremely fortunate. We should be happy to receive that feedback at that time. Not everybody gets it. Everybody has got so much of ego. People are very sensitive even to speak or not to speak. Advaita Acharya started dancing in ecstasy. Now, O Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, O Krishna, you have considered me as yours. You can't scold somebody who's a stranger. Can't. Those chastisements are good for us. Why? Because if that chastisement is not there, then there is something which grows inside, and that is called pride. And that pride in Bhagavatam is compared to a snake. It can bite us, and that snake has to be beaten up. And that chastisement does that actually. Little I'll divert and I'll share something. Those of us who do Jagran Sheva in the morning or in the afternoon when we wake up the Lord, right? There is this verse that we chant. Sosa vadabhra karuno bhagavan bibruddha prema smitena nayanam burham vijrimbhan Utthaya Biswa Vijayaya Chano Vishadam Madhvya Gira Panayat Purusha Purana. Beautiful verse we chant. Beautiful verse. This is a verse which is spoken by Brahma before he is doing creation. Mind you, he is doing an extraordinary service. Extraordinary. Not some simple thing like what we do. Maybe running temples, sweeping something, or something we do, getting this thing, and we feel we are doing very big thing. So much of responsibilities on me. He is doing the creation. But before he is doing the creation, this is the prayer that he is offering. Amazing prayer actually. This is 3.9.25. If you read 3.9.22, 23, 24, 25, there are 4 things that he is praying and that we should be very careful of. Very, very careful. The first thing that he is saying is, may the Lord be merciful towards me so that I, as before, may be empowered with the introspection to create, for I am also one of the surrendered souls who are dear to the Lord. Actually, we can't do any service without the mercy of the Lord. It is not because of my ability, not because of my skills, not because how intelligent I am able to do it. It's only the mercy of the Lord. Actually, little later, the Lord, when he begins to speak after Brahma has finished offering his prayers, he says that, who gave you those 2 words, tapa? I gave you. Who gave you the conviction from within to do that austerity? I gave you. Who is giving you this intelligence to offer these prayers to me? I am giving you. Brahma is so careful that he should not become proud. He's saying that, may he be merciful towards me so that I, as before, may be empowered with the introspection to create. Actually, even if somebody becomes a devotee, how many people are willing to take the credit? Arey, मैंने preach किया, मैंने उसको बताया, मैं प्रसाद दिया, मैं वो किया, जो भी है. I mean, we can think in so many ways. It is only Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. It's only Nityananda Prabhu's mercy. It's only Advaita Acharya's mercy. We are not even, it is not even nimitta. The nimitta matra bhava savyasachin, when Krishna says, there is a subtle sarcasm involved in that. When Krishna says nimitta matram bhava sabyasachi means somebody who can shoot arrows dexterously in both the hands. It's not like, suppose a right-handed person has to do something on left hand, it is very difficult. Or for a left-handed person, if he has to do something in right hand, it is not easy. But Arjuna can shoot arrows on both the hands perfectly. It will not, it'll hit the target. It will never miss the target. But Krishna is telling that they have already been killed by me. Just become an instrument. Take the glory that you want to, just become an instrument. That is what is our position. So Brahma's prayer is, he be merciful towards me so that I, as before, may be empowered with the introspection to create. Actually, any service that we do, any service, is only possible because there is mercy of the Lord which is flowing to us through this parampara system. Otherwise, we can't. To be engaged in devotional service is such a privilege. It's such an important thing which we miss out. If somebody is engaging in devotional service, or somebody has taken this initiation, the vow, that I will serve the mission of my spiritual master. That's what is initiation all about, right? But then, what happens is we think in our mind, okay, just this much of service which I have been assigned, I do that and leave it. No. Devotional service cannot be parted with any kind of other things. Whatever other things are there, you can't. And there are examples of this. There are very nice examples of this which are given in Bhagavatam. In 3rd canto, again, he's saying this, Kapila Muni is saying, Salokya sarsti samipya sarupya aikatvam apiyuta diyamanam na granhanti bina mat sevanam janaha. The devotees, even if somebody is offering liberation, but if there is this thing for devotional service, Salokya, Sarsti, it is not just the impersonal liberation of merging. Even if I am getting the liberation, the Vaishnava liberation, the 5 liberations, Still, if there is no diyamanam na grinanti, I will not accept bina mat sevanam jana. If there is no devotional service. Devotional service is not something which is done temporarily or in one particular time when I'm in the temple, I'll do it. I have to hanker for engaging in devotional service to the Lord 24/7, always. That is what that verse that we read, Chaitanya Charitamrita's this verse. Rejected persons of the material world who refuse to understand pure devotional service as the eternal function of the living entities and as actual liberation of the living being from conditioned life become bereft of all devotional service because of their poor fundamental. What happens is, when we limit ourselves to only few things that we do, gradually that will also reduce, because our taste is not there, and we're not properly, our consciousness is not touching those spiritual things properly, then that fire also will reduce. Rejected persons of the material world who refuse to understand pure devotional service as the eternal function of the living entities and as actual liberation of the living being from conditioned life become bereft of, it will go away. Become bereft of all devotional service because of their poor fund of knowledge. It will be taken away from us. I'll come to this point. It's a very important point. So when Brahma is praying this, I told you the first one that he's saying that he's asking for the Lord, that be merciful unto me. I'm going to do this important service of creation. I don't know how to do it. I'm confused. Lord, please bless me. That should be the mood always. Not that it is because of my ability it is happening. Second prayer that he's saying, I pray that I not be materially affected by my works. Who knows, by doing some service I get materially affected. I pray only to engage in his service in the creation of the material world, and I pray that I not be materially affected by my works, for thus I may be able to give up the false prestige of being the creator. A false prestige is the biggest hindrance which comes subtly because of our false ego. I'm praying, oh Lord, I don't know, I'm doing this service, but in the course of doing this service, no ego should come. My consciousness should not get contaminated that, no, I have done this. No. Let it not be materially affected by my works. For thus, I may be able to give up the false prestige of being the creator. Third one, he's saying, I'm born as the I'm now engaged in the manifesting wisdom. I therefore pray that in the course of my material activities, I may not be deviated from the vibration of the Vedic hymns. What if, while doing devotional service, I get deviated? Lord, please protect me. I don't want to get deviated. And the fifth one, which I was chanting to, fourth one, he says that you now speak. Oh Lord, you speak. Your instructions should speak to me. It not mechanically should go through my ears, so that all the dejection, all the kinds of disappointments, everything vanishes from me. Kindly speak your directions. What is your directions? I don't know. This is the mood of Brahma. Very interestingly, there is another very important pastime which happened, which I would share, and then I'll try to close the different things that I've been talking about. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to live in Puri by the request of his mother. One day he sent a servant to find out how everybody is doing in Navadvip. And this person goes and meets his mother, he meets other people, and then also he meets Advaita Acharya. Advaita Acharya, of all the people, gives a very strange message to that servant, saying that now you go and tell Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that everybody has become mad, there is no taste for rice, there is no demand for rice anymore. So he comes and he tells this to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says this, Advaita Acharya, God only knows what he says, what he does. I can never understand him. Sometimes, when actually that Mayavada philosophy, when Advaita Acharya was speaking, at that time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, I was sleeping in that, on the bed of the snakes. Because of your calling I came, and now you are preaching this thing, Mayavada philosophy. This time, when he heard this, that, Advaita Acharya is saying that everybody has become mad and there is no demand for rice, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could understand something very interesting, and that is very important. With that probably we'll close. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu understood Advaita Acharya's mood. He's saying that now everybody has got Krishna consciousness. Everybody is inundated with Krishna consciousness. Everybody is chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And when he said there is no demand for rice, what he meant or what he hinted was, it is time has come for you to wind up your pastime. In this connection, it is very nicely given in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Advaita Acharya is the one who brought Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? Because of his hunkara, because of his calling, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu descended. He is the one also giving hint or indication for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to wind up his pastime. Very important for us. If we pray to Advaita Prabhu, Advaita Acharya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will manifest in our heart. We will get an opportunity to engage in devotional service. But if we are not sincere, if we are not genuinely engaging in devotional service, Advaita Acharya can request same Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to go away from our heart. Devotional service will go away. It's very simple. So Advaita Acharya's mercy is needed so much in our life. Because that storm of our life, which finally we have to face, requires continuous preparation, purity of intent, and an uninterrupted devotional service. Ahetuki apratihata. Uninterrupted devotional service. That is why association of devotees is very important. Very important. In Bhagavatam, there is a verse which comes. It says, Yatho pashraymanasya bhagavantam vibhavasum sitam bhayam tamopyeti sadhun samsevatastatha. Upashrayamanasya Yatho upashrayamanasya bhagavantam vibhavasum. When there is fire, okay, when the fire is lit up, fire removes three things. Sitam, cold, like you're feeling cold. Bhayam, fear. And tamo. Tamo is darkness. Okay? Hey, this storm is coming, right? Whatever, you can wear layers of clothes and protect yourself. But he's telling, like that, the sadhu sangha, it removes dullness. Just as cold, fear and darkness are eradicated, for one who has approached the sacrificial fire, dullness, fear and ignorance are destroyed for one engaged in serving the devotees of the Lord. Sadhu samsevatastatha. You come in association with devotees, dullness comes because of what? Because of fruitive activity. Karne ka man nahi hai, ye, oh, some things. Mind gives excuses. Dullness goes away. Fear, what will happen to me tomorrow? Who is going to be taking care of me? What will happen? Who's there? The other day I was sharing this verse of Bhagavad Gita, right? Sanjay is speaking in 2nd chapter, 1st verse. If you read the purport, that purport was one of the very defining purports which had so much of impact on me to, decide that I should become a full-time missionary. Sensitive reading. That verse, that is the power of Srila Prabhupada's words. Sanjay uvacha tam tatha kripaya vishtam ashru purna kulekshanam visidantam idam vakya uvacha madhusudana. Tam tatha kripaya vishtam. Sanjay is speaking and he is describing Arjuna's position. Arjuna was overcome with compassion. Kripaya vishtam. Oh, my friends, my relatives, all my worshipable Pitamaha, Bhisma, my teacher Dronacharya, all of them, I have to kill them. Tam tatha kripaya vishtam ashru purna kulekshanam. His eyes are filled with tears, just unable to control. Vishidantam, depressed. depressed. We see them lamenting in his mind. Visidantam tam tatha kripaya vishtam ashrupurna kulekshanam visidantam idam vakya uvacha madhusudana. Krishna began to speak. First thing Prabhupada writes in the purport of that verse is material compassion, lamentation, tears are the signs of ignorance of, I have that verse actually. Material compassion, lamentation and tears are all signs of ignorance of the real self. This body is like a dress. Compassion for the eternal soul is self-realization. There's a man fallen in the ocean of nations cannot be saved simply by rescuing his outward dress, the gross material body. Compassion that we are exhibiting in this material world for our near and dear ones or for anybody or for our own selves, the compassion for the dress. Somebody who is drowning in the ocean, you save his external dress, his jacket or something, and you say, I've saved him, I've saved him. What do you mean by you've saved him? That person is drowned. Compassion. A man fallen in the ocean of nations cannot be saved simply by rescuing his outward dress, the gross material body. One who does not know this and laments for this outward dress is called a sutra. This purport ends with a very powerful line. What is the powerful line? The Prabhupada is saying, this chapter instructs us the self-realization by analytical study of the material body and the spirit soul, as explained by the Supreme Authority, Lord Krishna. This realization is possible when one works, first, without attachment to fruitive results, and is situated in the fixed conception of the real self. Otherwise, this difference between body and soul doesn't strike. We hear, we go back, our actions and our hearing, they're not in line. This realization is possible when one works without attachment to fruitive results and is situated in the fixed conception of the real self. So 3 things it is mentioning there: dullness, fear, fear and ignorance. Dullness, fear and ignorance goes away. This verse of Bhagavad Gita purport, and there is another one. All of us, we know the 7th verse. Karpanya doshapahata svabhava pritchami tvam dharma samuda cheta yat shreyasya nishchitam bruhitan me sisyasteham sadhimam tvam prapanna. But the next verse 2.8, is a very powerful verse. Nahi prapasyami mama panudyat yat shokam uchchoshanam indriyanam avapya bhumau asapatnam riddham rajyam suranam apichadhipatyam. In this verse, if you read very carefully, Prabhupada says, no amount of economic development, the problem of material existence, birth, old age, disease and death, cannot be counteracted by accumulation of wealth and economic development. This was one of the striking lines of Srila Prabhupada which struck me. Many of us who came here, why did we come here? Nobody came here for God realization. We came here for our economic prosperity, economic development. But Prabhupada's this line is, the problems of material existence cannot be counteracted by accumulation of any amount of wealth or economic development. But we are busy with that, thinking how we will take care of these temporary storms of life. What about that permanent storm? Because this idea that I am wearing a dress doesn't strike. So we are not preparing for that. So these are some of the things, the unlimited pastimes of Advaita Acharya, so wonderful it is given. It just one drop from the ocean of the nectarian pastimes of Advaita Acharya. It is all auspicious. Mangala, Mangala, Mangala. 3-4 times he's saying it is Mangal, Mangal, Mangal. Who hears, who gets a chance to speak, whatever it is, it's all auspicious for us, for our lives. We'll stop here. Srila Prabhupada ki, Advaita Acharya ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hare Krishna.